Hello, hello. Welcome to Healthy Perspectives, a podcast that takes on current cultural and social issues through a clinical lens. Hello, hello. All right. Welcome back. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, we appreciate your time. And a little quick backstory. I've been away for a while. There's been a lot of things. Most of you who listen to this, you know me. And so thank you for being my friends and family and whatnot. For those of you who are not super familiar with my story, there's a lot of stuff going on this holiday. I got to see, my oldest daughter went to college this year. And so I took some time there, did some stuff with her while she was around. Also visited my grandmother who had some medical issues last year that are still going on, and we're dealing with those. And so I've just been out and about, and then on top of that, it's been a really busy winter. For those of you who know, that my clinical practice comes first. It's not because I don't love and appreciate my audience here. I do. I very much do. You are a good audience. I'm hoping that you'll see this and be like, "Oh, he's back," and be excited. And I had to take some time. So it is what it is. That's going to happen periodically when this is more of a hobby than a career at this point. I know maybe one day that'll change, but that's not today. So today I want to talk about, look, we're just a week short of the presidential exchange. That's a big deal. Fears have been going up. I've been keeping up with all this stuff going on in the world with drones and all these conspiracy theories out there in the world. I've been listening to, all kinds of stuff, but I want to talk today about something that has been rising in my practice because it's really important for me to hear people when they are presenting new information. And there's some real interesting new information coming out. Fear. So the tip of the day is fear not. Like, I don't remember who said that. I've heard it. There's a million different versions of it, but don't fear. Fear nothing. There's nothing to fear. And that's going to be hard to believe for many of you. You're like, okay, Jeremiah's lost his living mind. It's gone. Nope. Absolutely not. Matter of fact, if you would listen to what I have to say today, it will all start to make sense in 6 months. We are getting all worked up. We think there's these changes that are coming. The world is going to crap. Do you know how many generations have said that? All of them. Every single one of them. Don't fear. Fear, it's going to incapacitate you. Nobody else. You. If enough people are fearful, do you know what happens, folks? You're easily manipulated. So if you want to be easily manipulated, go ahead and fear. Look, we've talked about emotional regulation before, and this is similar, but not the same. What are the odds for you of you being that fear will help you? What are the odds? 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3, folks. Why? Because what happens when we are at the maximum amount of fear? Fight, flight, freeze. You've heard it before. This isn't new information. And more often than not, only one of those will actually be effective. So you got a 2/3 chance that you're going to screw it up if you function from fear. Not only that, but let's say you have low levels of fear. Not incapacitating. The easy way to go is this. Imagine standing on top of a 40-foot pole. I picked that on purpose, right? In the military, one of the things we paid attention to was the threshold at which you're more likely to die than to live. 40 feet is it. Okay, so you're 40 feet above the ground on a pole, no harness. You get afraid. And what happens to your knees? You know the answer to this, folks. They start to wobble. Even if you're not afraid of falling, the fear of landing is going to cause some issues. And what are you actually afraid of? It's not the landing, it's your own failure. Because if you stand on top of a pole on the ground, it's a 2-inch pole, you could stand there all day long, put it 40 feet up, and you start to get wobbly. The reality, folks, is fear is not going to help you in almost any situation. You're like, wait a minute. Now, I can't help myself but to fear some things. Look, I understand that. I'm not asking you not to be human. Be human. Fear is a real experience that we have, but understand what it is, and you will do it less and less and less, not more and more and more. Okay, you've all heard that it's a secondary emotion, right? What are all emotions? All emotions, all of them are information. If you feel fear, it means you have some other unresolved emotions that have bubbled over. So let's talk about what you're afraid of, or at least this is what I'm hearing people talk about. Drones. What are you afraid of? You're afraid that you won't be able to protect yourself, your safety. I get it. And the reality is, are you prepared to protect yourself? If you're really that afraid, rather than wait for the fight, flight, freeze, prepare to protect yourself. There's things out there to protect you. Look, what can a drone not do? An EMP, right? It's an electronic device. How's it going to function if an EMP goes off? I'm pretty sure that's what they call it. One of those things that make all electronics stop working. So if you need a defense from a drone, maybe it's time to look at those and see, how can I get one that's a temporary, device that shuts all electronics off in my grid, my area, my home, whatever. Other countries. You afraid of other countries? I think it's reasonable to be cautious of things like drones and other countries. Are you afraid of our own country? Are you afraid of our politics changing? Are you afraid of gangs? What about violence, guns? I keep hearing it every time there's some kind of a shooting. There's all the gun rights. You should take away guns. Guns kill people. No, people kill people. These are things we've talked about. Are you afraid of giving speeches? Are you afraid of your neighbors? Are you afraid of drugs? Fentanyl is pretty dangerous, folks. What you fear is your inability to understand and function at a high level. You're afraid of your failure. So we know these things now. I quickly outlined some of the things going on in the world right now. And the reality from my vantage point is we know one thing. If you function from a place of fear, you are less functional. It's not going to be as good. So what do we do about things like drones, other countries? Like, we could solve them one at a time. We could. That's an option. Or most importantly, you could do some identity work. Who are you? What is life and what is death? Now this, you're like, what? Whoa, you just jumped a huge canyon. How did you do that? When you know who you are, when you know what you stand for, all these things find a nice, neat place in, I don't care as much about these things. See, for me, it's really easy. Now, I'm not a preacher, man. I'm not telling you what you have to believe. At the same time, for me, it's really easy to deal with any of these. Am I afraid of drones? No. Why? God's in charge. Am I afraid of other countries? No. Why? God's in charge. Am I afraid of war? No. Why? God's in charge. Now, all of these things, I could go one by one, all of them. And at the end of the day, if I stay connected to my Lord, I'm good. I don't need to fear any of these things. But who are you? What if my faith gets weak? What if I lose track of who I am because I get stuck in the dealing with one crisis after another, after another, after another? Scarcity. I've talked about it before. And I can't see through the forest to know if I'm even going in the right direction. Then what? What do I do then? Folks, you can't get there by yourself. You can't do it. You'll be afraid all the time. You will function less than you should. But what you can do is when you have moments of clarity in your mind, you can turn around and you can look at your support systems, the people around you, your friends, your family. And you can ask, will they show up for me if I start to lose my way? If I freak out, who's going to look me in the eyes and say, Jeremiah, get your crap together? If you don't have that, you got a big problem. To me, identity and support's the place to start. If you're afraid of the changes that are coming, check yourself first. I know first podcast of the year, definitely almost I am 2 weeks into the year. 2 weeks into the year, folks. And that's my first one of the year. And I came hard. I hope this helps. Take a look at yourself. Take a look at your experience. You have everything that you need. It's in you. Be gentle and firm. Those are not mutually exclusive things. And don't fear. There is nothing here to fear. Nothing at all. I hope this helps you process something. Like some of these things, I keep hearing about these things in my clinical work. I hope this gives you a starting spot. And do me a favor, if you want me to dig deeper into any of these in particular, send me a quick email or my friends and family, feel free to text me, whatever it is. Let me know what you want me to expand on. Happy to do it. It's just great to be back here. So thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking with us, even though we've been gone for a while. And I look forward to a great 2025. There's some big things coming in 2025, and I'll be excited to share them with you as we go. Have a great day. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. We appreciate our audience a lot, so we give you some simple ways to track us down. Please like, subscribe, and follow all the podcasts on different platforms, but you can also email us at healthyperspectives@protonmail.com, or you can check out our website at healthy-perspectives.com/podcast. It's a backward slash. So if you want to go to our landing page, if you go to healthy-perspectives.com, you'll still find us. You just got to click on the podcast button. Thank you so much.